Yeah, well, and I want to just take a minute because I'm a candidate, but I'm also a parent. And I think we sometimes forget how powerful we are as parents. And not just in teaching our kids or in educating ourselves, but in participating in these programs or getting to know the principals and teachers and commenting on things that we would like to see more of. I know, like, talking to teachers, they're often intimidated trying to please all of the parents, right? And so just as a parent, there's a lot of things you can do to show what you would like to see more of, and then support the teachers that are doing things that you like. And by showing that support, it really is powerful. And then again, to remember our power as voters, because was mentioned before, Joe was saying it's overwhelming. And like Jocelyn said, like they're already doing so much. We're like, there are people who feel maxed out, but at the same time, contacting your representative can be a very occasional thing. It could be like a Christmas letter, right? The once a year, I need to touch base with you, representative. How are things going? What are you doing? And then at least get to know them so that when there is something that's really important to you, you feel comfortable talking to them and building that relationship with your representatives and saying, hey, there's an issue out here that I really want to see what you're doing with that. Or, I don't know what's all going on. Can you help me, be updated? Like, let the representative do that work. You don't have to be reinventing the wheel. I mean, as parents, as people in the community with already a lot to do, that's what representatives can do. And that's what, as candidates, we're hoping that we can do for you is be able to do some of that legwork. And then we then bridge the gap. And if there are things that are concerning for you, that's why we're having this conversation, because we're learning so much from the communities that are being impacted by this particular topic, because that's how we are going to have the best information. Like what Christine pointed out before, policy that's made without the people that are impacted is not good policy. But if we can really understand what people are going through and what kinds of things need to be changed, we can make those policy adjustments properly. And that's what's so exciting about being a candidate and the prospect of being able to work in that kind of job.
Okay, so I think this has been helpful because yes, let the policymakers who know what they're doing make those policies, but they cannot make policies that are really beneficial to the community unless we open up a conversation. And I guess it starts with having those communication lines open. Otherwise, they may feel like they're doing a policy or not even aware of what we need. So that's helpful. That's a good place to start. And every first grade students that I have. I'm going to be teaching them.
Like, but yeah, honestly, like where I live, in general, I mean, you ladies aside, and certain people, who might be involved in Black Lives Matters or something, I feel like generally in Utah, honestly, people are not interested. They really don't want to talk about this. They really are open to talking about it. Like even neighbors and things, like even if you try to bring something up or they kind of shift the conversation, or, it's just such an uncomfortable topic. And so how do you have that conversation when people don't want to? Because it's like, why should I get out of my comfort zone when life is great for me? And I don't see it being bad for other people, therefore it must not be, right? So.
Well, actually, Jocelyn, that's a really good question. And I think we should take a moment, I mean, with the 5 minutes we have, and just consider, when we are talking with someone who's not interested, I mean, it is kind of like a relationship building. Everyone starts at a different level of space to handle that. Your representative for sure should care. That representative should care what you think and feel. And then on the other end, like, on the other end too, it's when you're building relationships with people, it is creating that safe space, because I know talking with people, especially about race, is extremely uncomfortable, but it's really important. And so I just, for myself, having talked with Jocelyn, having talked with Valina, I really, really appreciate how you guys, and even Joe and all of the people who shared yesterday, I felt safe. I felt safe to be able to listen. And the way that you answered our honest questions, or the questions that were submitted, which I think do represent some of the things that we kind of in the back of our mind are afraid to ask. It was just great to have that safe space, to have that curiosity and that concern, and not knowing where we fit into that puzzle of solution. And so I just appreciate that. And I know that will really sometimes tire you guys out, having to do that a lot. And then that's where we step in. Like, so we're candidates and we get to have a microphone to really kind of encourage other people to say, it's okay to just listen. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to be the solution right away. You can listen first. And we get to model that. We get to show people it's okay to listen. It's okay to not know what to do right now, but we can still be part of that solution. Right.
That's a wonderful way to end. As we're wrapping up tonight, I would just like to remind you folks of the United Utah Party's platform. And we went over this yesterday, but I just wanted to remind you one more time that as members of the United Utah Party, we really are in favor of sound public policy. And the number one thing that we have on our public policy on our platform is equal opportunity. We as candidates would like to support laws that provide protection against discrimination based on race, religion, gender, age, or sexual orientation. Every individual is of inherent worth and has a right to be respected and deserves to fully participate in our shared political and economic life. And I think that was a great conversation for us to have tonight, so we can begin those conversations about how we are all of inherent worth, and listening is a way that we can show that. We want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Thank you for all of your comments. Christine, thanks for this presentation. And again, a thank you to Jocelyn and Valina and Joe for presenting last night and tonight. And thanks to our guests for coming as well. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you have too. So without further ado, we'll let you go on with your night. Thank you so much for coming.